A group of 77 Wareham High School students went to the Hyannis Resort and Conference Center in Hyannis to take part in the DECA competition, a series of 4 tests to test their knowledge in marketing and management were given. And if they, I believe, were in the top 10 in each of the categories, then they get to compete in Boston in March. And students, for the state competition. Students competed in 22 different categories against 13 different schools. Out of 77 people Wareham took the district competition. 40 people were able to go home with medals around their necks. So 40 out of 77 people won medals at this competition. Only the top 8 move on to the statewide competition. The top 7 receive plaques, and then the top 5 move on to the state conference. Wareham had a total of 35 students go home with plaques. Of that 35, 15 placed in the top 3. This year, there was a trophy handed out to the top 3 test scores for the marketing test. Out of over 500 students that took it, Wareham had 3 students placed in the top 4 spots. Also, Wareham was the only school to have 100% of the participants score above the national average in one or more of the written exams. These are remarkable. And as always, the people that we have to thank on that particular day, we had chaperones, Barbara Thomas, Laurie Martinez, Judy Debonet, Marjorie Rakowski, teacher advisor Cindy Sylvia, teacher advisor Susan Nobriga, and teacher advisor Brian Nobriga. And I think this is great news. Every year they do well, but they keep getting better and better, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, it really is. That's great. Anybody else at this particular time? Kudos to the DECA program. All right, moving right along, I'll approve the minutes of December 8th, please. We'll take them one at a time. Does anyone see any corrections, omissions, or deletions? December 8th.
Move approval.
Do I hear a second? There is a motion and a second to approve the minutes of December 8th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It would be 3-0-0. Next, we have the minutes of December 15th. Are there any mistakes, omissions, deletions, or whatever?
Just one addition. When we had Principal Palladino come and talk about the school improvement goals, we did talk about asking him to come back and present at another time based on the comments that we made. And I don't think that we chose a date, but I know that that's not in there, and so I just want to make sure that there's a record that the school committee has requested that Mr. Palladino come back and present any additions to those goals.
Will make that addition? Will that be difficult, Michelle? To make that addition? Okay, as edited. So I'll entertain a motion as corrected or as edited.
Move approval as amended.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 3-0-0. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Next on the agenda is report of the chair. On the report of the chair, I have a statement to read and to submit for the record. This statement is my response to the complaint filed with the Attorney General. The complaint alleges that the Wareham School Committee violated open meeting law. The complaint incites comments made by this chair in response to a question posed during public participation portion of the regularly scheduled meeting of the Wareham School Committee on December 8, 2010. A question was asked relative to continuing regular meetings of the School Committee's Subcommittee on Transportation. In listening to the tape of that meeting, I acknowledge that I did not give the clearest explanation of my position relative to the composition of the Transportation Subcommittee. I stated that the Transportation Subcommittee consists of two people, Mr. Fonts and Mr. Sweat. I understand that those words led to some confusion. What I meant was that Mr. Fonts and Mr. Sweat were the school committee's members I appointed to the Transportation Subcommittee. As chairman of the Wareham School Committee, I continue to get my information from these two people relative to recommendations of the subcommittee. I appointed Mr. Fonts chairman of the subcommittee and gave him full authority to invite other community members to serve on the subcommittee. The Transportation Subcommittee held meetings which were posted and open to the public. I always considered the Transportation Subcommittee as an advisory arm of the Wareham School Committee, and I am confident that all elements of the open meeting law were adhered to. Votes and recommendations of the subcommittee were made in posted open meetings and were honored and validated by the school committee when reported out to the full school committee by Chairman Fonts. I hope this statement clarifies any confusion or misunderstandings. Respectfully submitted for the record, Clifford W. Sylvia, Doctor of Education, Chairman, Wareham School Committee, January 12, 2011. As part of my report, I would like to have Dr. Rabinovich read his letter to the Attorney General's office relative to this matter.
This is dated January 5th, 2011, Office of the Attorney General, Martha Coakley, 1 Ashburn Place, Boston, Mass. Regarding open meeting law complaint dated December 20th, 2010. The complaint alleges that the school committee violated the open meeting law by permitting allegedly non-members to vote and participate in school transportation subcommittee meeting. The School Transportation Subcommittee is a duly appointed subcommittee of the school committee. The chairman of the school committee delegated his authority to the chairman of the subcommittee to appoint additional members to the subcommittee. The complainant was also appointed to serve on the subcommittee. The School Transportation Subcommittee complied with all of the posting and meeting requirements of the open meeting law. A copy of the postings and the minutes are attached. Some confusion may exist because at a recent school committee meeting, the chairman of the school committee referred to the Transportation Subcommittee as the two individual school committee members. This statement was in error and was correct and is being corrected tonight at our school committee meeting. In short, the Transportation Subcommittee was a legally appointed subcommittee of the Wareham School Committee and followed all the procedural requirements of the open meeting law. The school committee maintains that there was no violation of the open meeting law. However, in the event that there is some confusion as to the membership of the Transportation Subcommittee, the chair of the school committee will state the names of the members of the subcommittee at the next meeting and will provide a list to the public. In item 21, the complaint alleges that the Transportation Subcommittee, Safety Subcommittee, Curriculum Subcommittee, Community Subcommittee, and Budget Subcommittee did not comply with the open meeting law. Attached, please find the relevant postings which demonstrate that all these subcommittees complied with all aspects of the open meeting law. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Yours truly, Dr. Barry Rabinovich, Superintendent of Schools.
At this particular point in time, and I'd like to ask Mr. Sweat if he can help me out, I'd like to my knowledge, state all of the members on the Transportation Subcommittee. As of course, it is Mr. Fonts, Chairman, and yourself. I also recognize that Mrs. Brenda Ekstrom was appointed to the subcommittee by the Chairman of the Board of Selectmen to represent the Selectmen. We had various members of the Finance Committee attend meetings, but I know that Mr. Paulson and I think Mrs. Bronk attended meetings. Mr. Rabinovich was part of the group, as was the town administrator, Mr. Andrews, and Mr. Snyder was appointed as a representative from the community at large. Did I leave anyone out?
Anna Miranda.
Anna Miranda was also part of that committee, which is the Director of Financial Services. Did I leave anyone out?
I do not believe so.
Thank you. I just want to, for the record, again, reiterate that I always considered that committee to be an advisory arm of the Wareham School Committee. Okay, moving right along. Report of the superintendent.
Okay, thank you very much. The Makepeace Neighborhood Fund is currently taking applications between January 7th and March 14th for grants of up to $10,000 for education, environmental, community housing, historic preservation, and healthcare and agricultural projects. Since the grant's inception, the largest single recipient has been the Wareham Public Schools, which has received over $110,000 in grants to teachers for special enrichment programs and supplies. There was one year that the Mrs. Rotella and I put together a proposal for the summer reading program. They funded the entire summer reading program to the tune of about $9,500. So they've been very generous, and would like to thank them. I believe there's something in your package that showed that. And the one other thing that I would like to mention, and it has to do with Makepeace, that actually this is probably under when we asked to accept gifts, so we'll leave that for afterwards. So that is all from the superintendent.
Thank you very much. Student representative is not here today, acceptance of gifts. That's the next piece.
Okay. I will recommend the following gifts, and if you'd like, we'll do one at a time.
Sure.
The first one is a light-duty shredder from Judy Karen of Buzzards Bay to the Minot Forest School Guidance Office.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 300. Dr. Rubenowitz?
The acceptance of 2 inspirational CDs, the title of which is No Arms, No Legs, No Worries, to the Wareham Cooperative Junior Senior High School from Rachel Gillette, a member of the school committee.
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 300.
And the last gift is a $20,000 gift
Wow.
from the Maurice and Ann Makepeace Foundation for the continuation of the alternative day program at Wareham Cooperative Junior Senior High School. And I believe this is the 4th year in a row that we've received a similar gift, and it helps pay for one of the, a portion of one of the salaries at that school.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 300. Is that it? All right, and we'll inform these...
Yes, Michelle will put together the...
Thank you very much.
Dennis.
Very considerable on the Makepeace Foundation. Recommendations of the Policy Review Committee. Rhonda?
Thank you. The Policy Review Committee met on December 13th. There was one piece of old business which was to discuss the policy that allows drivers to transport their children. It is a policy that has come up every single policy review. And every single time it does not go without much debate, much discussion, many challenges, because we all believe that it is very important to take a look at every aspect of what is going on the buses, everything from mechanics all the way down to the driver, and that, whether they have everything that they need to be able to safely transport children. So the policy came up again, and we asked for it to be tabled until Mr. Tatro had an opportunity to come and really give us his recommendation. He did come back and he said that he did, from his experience as well as research, that this does absolutely go on in other communities, that it is something that he